Welcome back to the Derek Smith Spiel Weekly Sports Update. This is April 29th through May 5th. Let's get started, as per usual, in the UFC. Malcolm Wellmaker. He is one fight into his UFC career and has already quit his day job. Malcolm is 1-0 in the UFC and won with style with a jaw-dropping knockout. The knockout won him a $50K bonus, and with that he was comfortable enough to quit his day job as a pipe fitter welder. Malcolm worked as a pipe fitter welder for 15 years and worked his way up from an apprenticeship. He swore that if he made it to the UFC and won a $50K bonus, he would quit, and that is exactly what he did. So, congratulations to Malcolm Wellmaker. His first goal is achieved. Obviously, he's going to continue to try and climb the ladder. But making it to the UFC is a huge feat in itself. Getting a $50K bonus for knocking someone out in the UFC, even if they aren't, if people don't realize, if you are in the UFC, you are one of the best fighters in the world. It doesn't matter if you aren't ranked. To make it in the UFC means you are already the top percentile of fighters, and the ranked fighters are a top decimal percentile of fighters. So, huge congrats to Malcolm Wellmaker. Brett Akamoto, he released an article on ESPN. He ranked the top 12 current undefeated UFC fighters. At number 12, he had Ramazan Kurmagomedov. He is 13-0. He had at 11 Bo Nickel. He was 7-0. And Bo Nickel is slowly climbing his way up the rankings and taking a very smart approach to developing his game on the way to the top. There have been fighters in history who came in hot and they just tried to rush to superstardom, and it works out for some of them, but for most of them it does not, because there are so many levels to MMA. And Bo Nickel is just trying to slowly work his way up. Obviously, his goal is to win it all. He's a competitor. He's a winner, a 3-time NCAA champion. Unbelievable. He's ranked number 11. Number 10 is Dakota Disheva at 14-0. Number 9 is Muhammad Makayev at 14-0. The UFC has refused to re-sign him because of being difficult to work with. That is a terrible sign, but his raw talent is unbelievable. And number 8 is Michael Morales. He is 17-0. 5 of his wins are in the UFC, and he is only 25 years old. At number 7 is Johnny Albin at 16-0. And number 6 is Lerone Murphy at 16-0. Murphy is not a big talker, but he is finally beginning to be noticed strictly from his winning and his artwork, and his sport. He's letting his performance do the talking for him, and it's finally working, especially after picking up a win against Josh Emmett. And number 5 is Movsar Evloev. He is 19-0 with 9 straight wins in the UFC, all by decision, so maybe not the most popular fighter, but he is winning. At number 4 is Shavkat Rakhmonov. He is 19-0. His latest win is against Ian Machado Gary. It is the first time that he had not won by finish. And number 3 is Khamzat Chimaev. He is 14-0, and Khamzat is looking for a title fight after defeating Robert Whittaker in dominant fashion by submission. At number 2 is Usman Nurmagomedov at 19-0. And of course, this should be no shock to anyone, at number 1, current undefeated fighters, is Ilia Topuria at 16-0. He defeated Alexander Volkanovski twice and finished Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria is on a heater. He hasn't lost. He's already moving up a weight division. Unbelievable. Topuria's already branding his name in UFC history. And when you look at this, to have 12 undefeated fighters, it really is showing that MMA is more popular and growing even bigger. It's in a great spot right now. This is This seems to be the golden age of the UFC and mixed martial arts as a whole, because some of these guys are PFL guys. Mixed martial arts is in a golden age, and it's only looking up. This is a phenomenal sign for the UFC that there are so many promising young fighters and so many more who are going to be inspired. Now, if you were to ask Dana White about this list, he would say John Jones should be on here because his one loss was by technicality for illegal elbows, and those elbows are now legal. So I guess honorable mention and undefeated fighters, John Jones, because he was technically never defeated. Really, he beat himself, which is the story of his career. But the release of this ESPN article could be a bit of a Sports Illustrated curse, perhaps, or a Madden cover curse, because Bo Nickel is no longer undefeated. He took his first loss from Reiner de Ritter by TKO in round 2 from vicious knees to the body. Reiner de Ritter had a very smart game plan, just constant pressure, dirty boxing, and Bo Nickel did his best but could not handle it. Don't get discouraged by this loss. It's hard not to, especially after really the past 2 fights Bo Nickel had haven't been too promising, but you can still see him developing. He's an ultra competitor. When he gets to his wrestling, he is dominant. It's still a transition. He's in the transition phase and still becoming a mixed martial artist. Hang in there with Bo Nickel. Don't get discouraged after his first loss. But somebody who is encouraged is Corey Sandhagen. He defeated Davison Figueiredo by TKO in the second round. Corey was dominating every aspect of that fight. The wrestling, the boxing, the kickboxing, he was dominating everything. Figueiredo made some poor decisions and never came back from it. And now Sandhagen wants a shot at gold. He wants the belt. He has a sound argument for having a shot at the title, for taking down Figueiredo, who has been one of the most dominant fighters in that division as of recently. When asked about the fight ending because of a pop's knee, which in the fight it ended by TKO, Figueiredo could not defend himself on the ground because of a knee injury, and the ref ended up stopping the fight. But Sandhagen was dominating that fight all around, and when Sandhagen was asked about the fight ending because of a popped knee, he responded, "If you don't know the 50-50 situation, your knee gets popped." Sandhagen knows that he won that fight fair and square, and he wants to be rewarded for it. His reward is to face the winner of the O'Malley-Dvalishvili fight. Now, moving on from the UFC and looking into the NFL. Jeff Earlbrich's son. Jeff Earlbrich is the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, but Jeff Earlbrich's son copied down Shadur Sanders' phone number off his father's open tablet and called Shadur, impersonating the Saints GM and telling Sanders that the Saints were going to take him with the next pick. Jeff's son is named Jax Earlbrich. He's 21 years old, and he did apologize for his actions on Instagram and personally called Shadur to apologize. They said the Sanders family was very accepting of the apology, shockingly accepting, and Jax does and should feel terrible. That was a horrible prank to pull. Now, the NFL has fined the Falcons $250K for the call, and the defensive coordinator, Jeff, $100K in response. That ruling, I don't really agree with. The Falcons, first and foremost, the Falcons as a team had nothing to do with it, so fining the team seems unnecessary and a step too far. But also, Jeff, that was an invasion of Jeff's privacy. His son invaded his privacy by looking at his open tablet and stealing the phone number. It's not like It's not like Jeff gave anyone the phone number. It was stolen from him. And none of it, all of it is Jax's fault. So to me, punishing the Falcons, who had no association with it, and Jeff Earlbridge, who didn't even know his son did it until a couple of days after, that seems just ridiculous and unnecessary. But Jeff handled the situation with a lot of class, and he does take fault for it because he left his tablet open. And really, it could have been anyone, Jax's friend. He said he needs to close his tablet and hide that information in a better way. So Jeff took it with class. And the Sanders, their response, specifically Shadur, said he was not affected by the prank call because he does not feed into negative energy. But I think he was affected. Just looking at his body language, how he was talking, it seems like he was affected, and that's okay. I don't know how you wouldn't be affected after a prank call like that. You've been working your whole life to make it into the NFL, and someone pranks you like that, getting your hopes up. To date, the biggest day of your life, it was terrible. Shadur should be affected by it, and it's okay if he is. In the meantime, it has come out that one major reason, possibly the biggest reason, Shadur dropped so far in the draft was because of his unprofessional attitude in meetings. And I want to know if he dropped that far because of his unprofessional attitude. It would be interesting to hear audio on some of those meetings, because to go from a projected first-round pick to, I can't remember if it was round 4 or 5, but to drop that far is truly unheard of. Now, another rookie quarterback, Cam Ward, it is rumored he is going to start in Tennessee, and it is thought that the Titans are going to try the same thing that the Bengals did with Joe Burrow. So Tennessee Titans fans, get excited for Cam Ward and stay patient with him. It's not easy for rookie quarterbacks to come into the league, and it's very rare that rookie quarterbacks have success right off the bat. But a cool story that I actually saw on Instagram was Lawrence Taylor told Abdul Carter regarding wearing his number 56 for the Giants. Abdul wanted to wear number 56, and Lawrence Taylor said, "I think it's retired. Get another number and make it famous." To which, and I believe this was tweeted. I think this was a tweet or a comment that Lawrence Taylor made. So that could be very hard to take. It's very dry. It almost seems like an order. But Abdul responded, "The worst thing he could say was no. My stance don't change. LT is the GOAT. Nothing but respect. This just gonna make me work even harder. I love it." That was a cool interaction to see between a legend, one of the best to ever do it, probably the best outside linebacker, creator of the two-point stance, Lawrence Taylor, and up-and-coming rookie Abdul Carter. Now, last but not least, in the MLB, starting off in the Yankees, specifically with Jazz Chisholm. Jazz will not be suspended games for violating the MLB's social media rule. I like this ruling because I don't think you should be suspended for arguing with an umpire. I had voiced in earlier episodes that I believe one way umpires are held accountable is by players and fans voicing their discontent. However, I do think there should be some punishment for making a social media post during a game, especially if that is a rule. Unfortunately, the revoking of the suspension won't matter because Jazz Chisholm could miss 4 to 6 weeks with a high-grade oblique strain. He appeared to be injured after a swing and a miss, but shook it off and actually hit a triple right after in the same at-bat. A pinch runner immediately came in for him. He was visibly in pain. In response to the injury, the Yankees called up Jorbit Vivas from Triple-A. Vivas was batting .319 with 15 walks to 8 strikers in Triple-A. Another solution is DJ LeMahieu to play second base once he gets back from his injury assignment. So the Yankees do have options. Jazz was only batting .192, but 10 of his 19 hits were extra base hits, and he has 7 home runs. So the Yankees are missing a lot of pop in their lineup right now, especially with Stanton right now, being out right now. Speaking of Stanton, he was moved to the 60-day IL, and the Yankees picked up Brian De La Cruz off waivers. There is still no timetable for Stanton's return, and in the meantime, the Yankees are looking to fill their lineup. Brian De La Cruz is not an immediate fix. He has been optioned to Triple-A after hitting .192 in his first 16 games this year, but he is a career .251 hitter with 58 home runs in 491 games. So he can fill the lineup as soon as he gets out of his slump. Even if he is slumping, he can fill the lineup. But off the Yankees and their unfortunate injuries, and on to someone who actually came back from injury, Jacob deGrom. He won his first start in more than 2 years, 737 days to be exact. deGrom struck out 7 batters through 6 scoreless innings, and the Texans offense had a much-needed, the Rangers offense had a much-needed breakout night. The Rangers entered the game with 91 total runs and had 12 combined runs in the last 6 games. In deGrom's 5 starts, the Rangers offense only gave him 9 runs of support, but on Tuesday night they gave deGrom 15. And really all he needed was 1 with his shutout performance. Congratulations to Jacob deGrom finally getting a win after coming off his injury. But here's something that got me, a Tigers fan, excited. So to all you Tigers fans out there, on Friday night, Riley Green became the first MLB player in history to hit 2 home runs in the 9th inning. The Tigers were playing the Angels, and the game was tied 1-1 heading into the 9th before the Tigers erupted for 8 runs, and 4 of those runs came off Riley Green home runs. Riley Green, you officially made MLB history. I can't wait until he is officially an MLB superstar. But that's all I've got. I couldn't end it any better with some Detroit Tigers news. That's a wrap. That is April 29th through May 5th, the weekly sports update. I'll catch you later.
This episode was brought to you by yours truly, Derek Smith, with help from the voice memos and Spotify Podcasters app. For more content like this, you can continue listening to the Derek Smith Spiel on Spotify, or you can listen on my YouTube channel at Derek Smith Stock 13. There you'll find my podcast and sports betting videos on top of that. If you're a fan of my sports betting videos, you can also see highlights of those on my TikTok account. You can find that by searching at SmithStock5 again on TikTok. Enjoy collecting cards? If so, check out my Collects account at Derek Smith Stock to get deals on quality cards. For updates on everything I mentioned, follow my Instagram account. You can find that by searching Derek Smith Stock 13 on Instagram. Not interested in sports? Then go to YouTube and watch Dylan Smith Outdoors YouTube channel. Search Dylan Smith Outdoors, where there are plenty of outdoor content videos, including hunting, catching, trail cam and tree stand setup, cooking, and plenty of laughs in between. Need your lawn sprayed? Whether it's weeds or insects, Greenwood Ecologics has you covered. If you need help making your lawn greener than your neighbors, call Greenwood Ecologics at 585-739-1610. I repeat, 585-739-1610. Finally, thank you for listening to this production of the Derek Smith Spiel. Every view or listener is appreciated. I'll catch you later.